Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks and welcome to the ever-increasing world of lockdown madness. This story that I've just seen is something a lot of governments have been hinting at, and I noticed Bill Gates released a video last week talking about this, and I think it's pretty clear what these people have planned, and we need to stop it really before it starts. I mean, nobody in their right mind should accept this. Nobody who is sane can think this is for the good of everyone. You can't be that scared to allow this to happen. I was thinking about not even making this video tonight because I don't want to depress people. I really don't want to do that. But these type of stories need to be highlighted and, they need to be shared as well. This is what they are planning on doing down the road. And if we can get our act together as societies, we can fend them off. But we need to be together. And at the moment, so many societies, are divided. And this is deliberate. I believe a deliberate tactic by the media, by the press, to keep the public divided and in disagreement. Classic divide and conquer strategy. So, look, anyway, we've got this story from Hong Kong. Now, if you go through my videos, you will see a video from New York where they had a law put through which would allow authorities to come into your house and remove and detain you if the health minister deems you to be a health risk. And similar laws are in Ireland, and I believe, and most probably a lot of other places as well. So it says here, Hong Kong leader defends ambush lockdown tactics. Hong Kong's leader defended her administration's use of ambush lockdowns on Tuesday after a spate of overnight operations to conduct surprise mandatory tests uncovered no new cases. Hong Kong has a population of 7.5 million. Yesterday, they had one death from the virus. There's very little going on there. And yet they have these groups that are going out and forcibly testing people. It says here on Tuesday morning, the government warned authorities would forcibly break into their apartments if law enforcement suspected people were hiding in their homes or refusing to submit a mandatory test. Here's another article. Hong Kong government warns it can break into homes and grab people for tests. The Hong Kong government warned yesterday that it reserved the right to break into homes and remove residents for testing if they refuse to answer their doors during so-called ambush lockdowns. An ambush lockdown is when the authorities, with no advance warning, arrive at a residential location, start banging on doors and demanding that those inside take a test. And as I said, their figures are really low. I mean, one death. Yesterday, 34 cases in Hong Kong on February the 1st. Now, I believe this is what they are planning to do in the future, everywhere. And so this leads me on to, oh look, it's Bill Gates. Yeah, it's that Bill Gates who owns half the farmland in the USA, who wants to control the production of your food and wants everyone to eat lab-grown meat and GMO veggies in the future. That Bill Gates, the same Bill Gates who wants to feed your babies artificial breast milk in the future, cultured from human mammary. That Bill Gates, the same Bill Gates that has invested billions into the vaccines and now wants everyone to take the vaccine.
Few things like big public gatherings will still be restricted. But, we can see now that somewhere between 12 to 18 months, we have a chance, if we manage it well, to get back to normal. For the world at large, normalcy only returns when we've largely vaccinated the entire global population. And, this won't be the last pandemic that we face. So we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say will get attention this time.
Here he is. Last week, he released a video on his YouTube channel called This Is How We Prevent the Next Pandemic, where he says, we all want things to return the way they were. Again, another unelected person talking about we. Who is we? He then goes on to hold a viral ball where he talks about how we will develop vaccines quicker and how we can test 20% of the entire population every week. He then says we need to be able to stop disease outbreaks as soon as they happen anywhere in the world, and that requires a global alert system, he says. If there turns out to be a pathogen, then we need a group of infectious disease responders to spring into action. Oh look, looks like the same idea as Hong Kong are doing. These people going around doing ambush lockdowns, banging on your door and forcing their way into your house to give you a mandatory testing. And this also looks very much like what was seen in the film Songbird, the film about the virus set in the year 2023, with COVID-23, with everyone stuck in their house, where people are forcibly taken from their house by these lockdown ambush people if they are thought to be infected. It all looks very similar. Again, what is this? Predictive programming? It seems like that to me. The film Songbird, by the way, is shite. Don't watch it. Do not waste your time watching that crap. Just watch the trailer. It's the most dull, soulless movie you will ever see. So there you go. That's what I was looking at tonight. And that is the future these clowns, I believe, in power are looking to bring you into. And people need to stop watching the mainstream media. It's toxic. It's completely and utterly toxic, and it's messing up your head. I know, I mean, look, what effect can I and this video really have? Not any really, but if it was possible for everyone to just stop watching the mainstream media, it would help. It's the most controlling of all of the problems at the moment. It's dividing people. It's confusing people. They are being given conflicting information by the media. Data, number crunching. The people who defend these lockdowns, they may be cheeseheads, but if they are honest, they are scared, very, very scared, and they are trying to desperately cling to the idea that the government has their best interest at heart because they don't like the answer of it not being so. That's why they try so hard to argue with you and defend them. But if they could have a true moment of epiphany, if they could just really let go and look into their souls and trust their instincts, I think they would realize that they are being manipulated and realize that that manipulation comes from the mainstream media. So while this does start to sound like a horror show when you listen to this news, it can be stopped if people join together and say no. And one way is to highlight what is coming down the road. And that's why I make this video, that somebody somewhere will see it and say, oh my God, that sounds terrible. I don't like that. I don't like the sound of this. This is all getting out of hand. This needs to stop. And that's what I hope to achieve with these videos. Look out for one another. Like I said, know what side of the road you are on. Keep connected with people you trust, who you know are on that side of the road. And thanks for listening. Come and subscribe to HugoTalks.com before the YouTube censors come knocking on my door. And I'll see you later.
A good one. I stopped watching mainstream media pretty much about 3 or 4 months ago because it was just clearly, lies. At least a lot of it was, in my view. And I find that most people that argue against me, I'm like Hugo here, that's their sources are the mainstream media. They don't look for any other source. They just brainwash themselves with the mainstream media. Or it could be, the big tech, one guy keeps sending me these Apple News. It's Apple News. That's his go-to source. And it's just mainstream media bullshit. That's all it is. So turn it off and be more selective and get out of that mainstream propaganda, please. Thank you.